Welcome back to another video. Some decoy voice. But what do you want to happen to them? I already know who's talking about it. I already know what I want.
Massive protests on
That is out of the wrong headset. Yeah.
behalf of Mexico have broken out across Los Angeles, completely blocking the busy 101 freeway.
This is stupid as shit, dude. What a waste of time.
Surrounding the unlucky commuters,
They rise, they resist, they march. Why don't you march your ass back to Mexico then? What was that? Like, you have so much pride to wave these Mexican flags around, then why don't you just go back, accept your fate? Why are you here if you love Mexico?
We're now seeing flags from everywhere of the places they allegedly don't want to be. So downtown LA,
I don't want to be there. Go back.
Still in every direction.
Wave American
and local
flags.
law enforcement has now called it
non-permitted.
And when the police finally did arrive, it took them until night to actually do anything.
That's a joke. Police in LA are a joke. Not gonna lie. Stop taking kids. Why are they here illegally?
Tactical shaman.
What the fuck?
And then the protesters immediately retook the freeway.
They should send ICE.
I'm so sick of seeing this type of protest that I honestly think everybody on that freeway needs to see 6 months in county. This whole culture of whenever
I believe you should be able to run these people over.
Just allowed to hold the citizens captive has to stop. And if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed for more clips like this, because I left that stupid city.
That should not be a protest.
War broke out overseas, they had to stop all freeways. The Supreme Court returns a decision back to the states, which will have zero impact on California. Block that same freeway. A guy dies across the country and you want to blame all cops everywhere? Guess nobody gets to go to work today. Or basically anytime the orange man does something, feel free to unlawfully block me in my vehicle. And notice in all 4 of those protests,
like you said, unlawfully, you should be able to run these people over and leave them dead on the streets. Then they'll learn to not walk on the fucking freeway. That's a sign of protest.
Shouting or social media posts.
That shit should be unconstitutional as fuck to block traffic.
Look the other way when actually sentencing these idiots to any significant time behind bars. Because I can guarantee you, if they gave them their disbursement orders, and the remaining 50 idiots on the freeway refused to take their protests peacefully to the pedestrian sidewalk, then they got locked up and lost 6 months of their life in the Twin Towers Correctional Facility, suddenly nobody will think blocking the 101 is such a good idea anymore.
Yeah, I agree.
Is this an insanely harsh punishment? Of course it is. But it's not like they're randomly picking out activists from a list to make an example out of them. We're just setting up a system called consequences, aka the justice system. So hopefully Los Angeles can rediscover it someday.
Dude, that they let
just outside the county lines, by the strawberry farms in Oxnard, these same protests are in the streets burning the American flag. And it's bad enough they're waving the flags of a country they're protesting being sent to, but also
why don't they
burning the flag of the country they're demanding they stay in. What a confusing worldview to have. It's always America.
That should be illegal, dude.
But simultaneously, I demand to live in only America. As all the way down to the border in San Diego, they're also blocking the streets for the same protest.
Dude.
Almost everywhere in Southern California is simply allowing this to happen.
Go the fuck back. If you're waving a fucking flag of your country, go the fuck back. Why are you here?
Zero, because when this is just allowed, it's only a matter of time before an ambulance gets stuck on the freeway.
So
or like what we saw in Texas, an Uber driver ends up popping a protester. As over in Idaho, we're already seeing Americans fighting these forces flying foreign flags.
Go back. Simple as that. You're that proud, go the fuck back.
And not even the cops are safe, as in Salem, Oregon, they began smacking his squad car.
Isn't that vandalism if they're smacking your car and shit? They act like they're owning the system. All these people should go to jail. And if they're here illegally, send them back. Holy shit, dude. And people wonder why they don't want illegal immigrants here, dog.
If everybody that vandalized that police vehicle got the book thrown at them. It might not be Munson County, but whatever appropriate fine actually being applied would be a decent start, as these people genuinely think there are absolutely no consequences to not only breaking our laws, but recording, posting, and boasting about nobody being able to stop them.
When's the last time you heard of any of these people going to jail?
Be allowed to stay.
Oh no, but the people who went to January 6th go to jail.
It's just reassuring us that this needs to happen. As the argument against it is, it's making all these workers not show up to their jobs.
Ya toda la gente que trabajaba aquí, unos están espantados, no hay quien venía a trabajar, otros ya se los llevó migración y así
well, then maybe don't hire illegal immigrants for cheap labor and hire actual citizens. Wow, it's almost like we should be hiring citizens
and dishes stacked
and not just
and
immigrants.
Nothing ready.
This is just like how their movement simultaneously argues, America bad, but don't make me leave. This is the same side that shrieks over low wages and a housing crisis.
Dude.
But if all these legitimate businesses are suddenly seeing 90 to 100% of their workforce disappear...
Housing crisis, yeah, that checks out, because you know what really helps the housing crisis? Needing the government to buy homes, tear them down, and turn them into Section 8 or project housing.
Illegitimate citizenship.
Yeah, that's what
like
we
might
need.
Have a lot more people here than should be. And you know what depresses wages? Importing cheap labor. You know what creates a housing crisis? Importing millions more into an area with a finite amount of housing. And of course, both of those have solutions that can alleviate the issues, but it's like they're literally trying to argue both sides of the coin. And their only solution is to give the government more of our money, because somehow that will solve it.
More money that's going to go to their Medicare.
And immediately began militarizing our border.
Because for some reason, fucking illegal immigrants need to have health insurance, right? Coming out of our taxpayer dollar. Hell yeah.
Your work so far?
Well, look, I looked at the numbers this morning, Maria. The crossings on the border are down 93%. President Trump's
go.
No one has had the success he's had on securing the border. He clearly understands we can't have strong national security if we don't have border security. We need to know who's coming in, what's coming in, where it's coming in, why it's coming in, and we have achieved a success on the border already.
Dude.
We got more
Holy
work to
shit,
do.
man.
And on top of that, we as part of the deportation operation, we're just shy of. I think we got 5,000 already arrested the first week.
I have no sympathy for illegal immigrants who came here illegally, dude.
Authorized the use of weaponized drones, explosives against CBP personnel and U.S. law enforcement down there at the southern border. Now, they're actually being encouraged, of course, to remain cognizant and vigilant, but they're also being encouraged to use their long arms, Blake. I have never seen this in a CBP memo before. They say, wear your ballistic earrings.
This got out of hand so fast that the normal liberal activist doesn't even realize they're flying the flag of the forces that may be going to war with our military. As throwing a brick through a Starbucks for social justice is one thing, but being seen as an enemy combatant might put them in an entirely different category. But hopefully it doesn't come down to that. And one last thing. As this so-called deportation document is spreading through social media, where many
does that look AI?
Changing their minds about the whole situation. But this isn't even a good hoax, as you should have been able to spot that even without the AI detector. I know it was mostly jokes. You should have been able to spot.
It looks too cartoony, dude. The eyes are too glassy. The skin is too matted. I don't give a fuck how much makeup you put on. This literally looks AI generated. The eyelashes aren't even. The eyes, I don't think, are even. No, they're not. What the fuck is going on here? What's with this weird ass undershadow?
That even without the AI detector. I know it was mostly jokes.
So stupid.
But we gotta be better than that. So if you appreciate my concise, lighthearted commentary on the tragic status that is today's reality, hopefully...
Bro, I was doom scrolling on Instagram. This AI shit just reminded me of this. I was doom scrolling on Instagram and I found like this like page that's like, oh, it's like nightmare fuel at like 3 a.m. type shit. And I was just like, bro, what's with all this shitty AI? It's like AI monsters and shit. I'm like, bruh. Anyways, yeah, I think that every single one of these protesters, if they're here, if they're American citizens, they should be charged. And if they're not citizens, if they're here illegally, their visa should be revoked and they should be sent back. And if they're not here legally, if they're here illegally, send their asses back right away. Because you're here on essentially a permit, dude. This shit also should be charged. This shit, burning the American flag, should not be protected, right? If it is, that's stupid as shit. These people should also be sent to jail. Like, holy shit. And then they're like, oh, there's no one to make the food. Well, then maybe the corporation should have hired, citizens and shit instead of illegal immigrants. Crazy fucking thought, I know. Wow, America should be hiring American citizens to do the labor. Who would have fucking thunk of that? Anyways, let me know what y'all think. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch y'all in the next one later.